Hey, this is James from Mad River Homestead here in Southwest Ohio. Beautiful, beautiful August day. I can't believe we've been having temperatures down in the 50s at night. We've been leaving the windows open, haven't run the air at all for the last week or so. Anyway, I'm going to be making a hay feeder for our male goats. It's going to look similar to the one that we have for the female goats. Let me show you what that looks like. So this is the feeder that we have for the female goats. That lid right there, it just lifts up. I've got it on hinges so we can lift it up to drop hay in there. Hey Lily, what are you doing? Right behind her. Yep, I'm gonna make the boys one. This is the boys' current feeder. You can see Ezra, he loves to hit it with his horns. It's inside their shed, so it really takes away from the room that they have to move around. Ezra, what do you want, buddy? Ezra is a lot bigger than G, so a lot of times Ezra is there eating, and G will want to get some, but he pushes him away. So I'm going to be building them one. I'm going to initially put it right in this area. I probably need to just leave it there, maybe move it from time to time, but I don't have as many spots to move it to. So I'll just have to clean up a little more often. But let me get started on this. Please excuse the mess in my garage. But I've already made the list of what I need as far as the different size cuts of wood. And I've got all the lumber that I need right here. And I'll be using my new saw. Pretty excited about that. Let me get on it. I'm using treated wood for, of course, the 4x4s because they are sitting on the ground, but also the lower wood that's closer to the ground and is more likely to collect rain. Those I'm using treated wood on as well. Everything else I'm just using regular 2x4s. Okay, so I've got all the wood cut. I'm going to start by building this, the food tray that goes in the bottom underneath the hay. And I'm going to drill pilots, get this thing built. So that's what I'll do first. Okay, so rather than use a good piece of OSB, I had an older piece out there and then some other little pieces of scrap. So I'm going to use those for the bottom of this thing. I think they'll work just fine. This wood's pretty thin, so I'm just going to use these 1 1/4 inch, I think. Yep, that should go a little bit longer. I'm about to go 2 inch. And of course, those are the ones that I'm the lowest on. So I'll use the 2 inches that I have and then go to 2.5. I feel like I need to put a piece of wood across here, just an extra little brace. Yeah, that's good. That'll work. All right, so that part's done. Set that aside. Okay, so I am just toenailing these screws. I got 2 on each side on the ends, and then right here, just toenailing these into this skid. The next part is going to have vertical boards coming up, so I'll be securing those to the 4x4 and these 2x4s. So it's going to have plenty holding it. But just for now. I'm going to build this in basically 3 parts. The bottom, and then the middle, and then the top, the lid. So, and then I'll put it together out in their pen. It's pretty heavy when it's all done. So this is my boards to put together the top part. Okay, so this is the top of this piece. You'll be able to see it better when I put it together. But at the bottom, about 1 inch above the tray that's at the bottom, I want these 2 braces. They'll be right between those. And then between those 2 braces, from here to the other side will be a 2x4. And that's what I'm going to use to put I'm going to be using 4x4 goat fencing as the, it'll come down in a V, and that's where the hay will go in. Again, you'll see it better when it's all put together. So anyway, I know it's 7 3/4 from the bottom of the 4x4 to the top of the food tray. So I'm going to put these 8 3/4 to here. And I'm going to use a pocket jig to do this. These come in different types, but I use the Kreg. It's pretty simple. It's for what I use it for mostly. I've never had a need for a different one. And the way it works is I'm working with 1.5 inch thick board. So you have these stops right here. So I just slide that until it's in that position for the 1.5 inch board. Set it on the end. I like to clamp it on. Got this drill bit that goes into these 2 holes. Like that. So I'll drill those real quick. So now on either end, I have these 2 holes. So I'll put that between the 2 boards, just like this. Except for I'll face these on the inside. And then just put my screws right in through there, and it's a very, very nice fit. So now with everything clamped nice and tight, just get those screws where they're just in the starting hole. And just screw them in. And you can feel when they stop. All right, so that's done. I'll go ahead and get the other 2 done. Now, if you were working on something like where you didn't want those holes to show, you can just fill them in with some kind of wood putty and paint or stain or whatever you need to do. This is a goat feeder, so I'm not that worried about it. So I'll get the other side done. All right, so this is what I have so far. This is the base. You saw that all put together. This is the last part I was working on. So I'll build another frame that'll go above this. It'll have hinges on the back, and so I can swing it up whenever I need to put hay in it. It's gonna also have a piece of tin on it just to protect it from the rain a little bit. This piece right here is gonna be screwed to those braces right there. So I've marked a spot on each one right in the middle, and I'm gonna attach on each side of this, I'm gonna staple some fencing, and then I'll staple it on the inside of these boards as well. And that's what'll hold the hay. I'll wait to attach these boards to these braces until I get the fencing stapled to it. So let me, I'll be going to cut some fencing now because I want to get that part done before I move on to the top. All right, so I've got my 2 pieces of wire fencing that I'm going to use for this. And what you can see, on the ends, I kept about this much on, just cut the next section in half, and then I bent these down. Now, if you know anything about goats, they're always trying to think of new ways to kill themselves or hurt themselves at the very least, poke an eye out, whatever it might be. So if these are going to be in a place, like if it's vertical, these are going to be there. Mine are going to be on the horizontal at the bottom and the top, so it should not be a problem at all. But if yours is going to be where they would have access to this, and believe me, if you have them on the sides, they're going to be trying to push in here and get into the hay for some reason. They don't like pulling it out through these big slots. So one thing you can do is take this. This is a T-post tool. If you've seen my video about attaching fence to T-posts, you recognize that. And what you can do is just put it in that smallest hole and then just twist it around that fence. So you twist it around probably about 2 or 3 times. It's gonna make it pretty tight on there. So you can see that. Now you've got this little piece here, so you can just take pliers and go ahead and finish it off at that point. Just twist it around, and that's pretty good. That's going to be really hard for them to use that to hurt themselves. But I can tell you, those things are sharp. You poke yourself, it's going to get you. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and attach the fencing to that piece that's going to run across the bottom. And I'm going to use these barbed staples like this. Now, the ones I have are kind of long, but they're the only ones I have. So that's what I'm using. And I would recommend putting at least 5 or 6 staples across, because they will beat this thing up. All right, I'll go ahead and get it attached on the other side, and then we'll show how we'll put this together. So because of this 2x4 here, I don't have a full 4 feet going across here, which this is 4 feet because that's actually the top, that's the bottom. So I'm gonna cut a couple of notches out of each one of these, just cut the wire from here to in here, and then it'll be able to fit in there. Okay, I've got the middle part built, so I want to put metal from here to the top on both sides, because otherwise the goats will go through the side to get to the hay. I just happen to have some leftover metal from building my chicken coop. If you haven't checked out that video, check it out. It turned out really, really nice. Anyway, I'm going to cut the pieces I need from this. Okay, that part's done. So now I'll just make the top that goes on it. We'll go from there. Okay, I have not been giving my dimensions as I was going. So just so you know, and you can refer to the list that I had at the beginning. These 4x4s, they're both 4 feet long because that's half of 8 feet, which they come in 8 feet. At least the ones I did. These pieces from here to here are 48. And these are 21. So this would be a total of 2 feet from here to here because I put these pieces on the inside. Cut the floor to, just measure to cut the floor. I am going to have a couple of more pieces, 48-inch pieces, that'll go from here down to there, just kind of an added brace. And also, it's nice to have it to step up on when you're reaching down in there to clear out some old hay. All right, so this matches the bottom of this. So that's 48 going that way. This is 21, so a total of 24 inches here. On my other one, I made these 48 inches. This time I cut it down to 35 because even as tall as I am, to get up there and reach down inside to clear out old hay is a pain. I can do it, but I just figured an extra or 3 inches less might help. So the pieces, these little cross pieces here, those are 12 inches. So, and then this one, of course, would be 48 to match up with these pieces here. You'll just cut if you're putting metal sides, you'll just cut those to fit. It's basically just to keep the goats from going inside there. Okay, I finished the top except for the metal that'll go on it. I'll put that when I get out there. But just to show you what I did, because in the list of cuts, I don't have this one. I just set a piece of deck board. So what I did was I cut an angle from here to here. As you can see, this middle piece is sitting higher than the other two. These two sit on the frame underneath. This one is at the top. So when the metal comes across, I can screw to this piece. So I didn't have a handle, so I had this thing. It's gonna work just fine, I think. And then I've got my hinges on. I don't have a hinge attached to the bottom. I'm just gonna do that when I get out there. And so let's get it out there and get it set up. Hey, get out of here. forgot, I need chain so I can push it back and it'll hold. Be right back with that and the 10 put on top of that. I think that's going to work just fine. Put it up. The hay in, and away they go. I know G will be happy because now he can eat in peace on the other side away from Ezra. There you go. Come around this side. Ezra comes in, pushes you away. You just come to the other side. Happy now, aren't you? And that'll do it for this video. I hope this was helpful. If you have goats and you're looking for a pretty easy way to make a goat feeder, this is a pretty good one. It's very solid, and as you can see, 4 or 5 goats could eat from it, really. But it's definitely good, a lot better than what we had before. So I appreciate you watching the video, and until the next one, God bless you and your family.